The kingdom of God is an unfolding reality, and as it unfolds, I'm called to be part of it. And I see God calling us to a world in which every creature flourishes, where humans enjoy the planet and nurture it. The work I do now is really focused on how we're going to transform human society so that we live in harmony with the planet. One of my key aims is to help people see that they are part of nature rather than that dreadful binary that's developed, particularly in Western culture, where we see ourselves over and against nature. My great uncle was a sheep wheat farmer, and in the early 1980s he became convinced that the climate was changing, that human beings were the major factor in that change. In response to that, I joined Greenpeace and decided I needed to get myself really well informed about environmental issues. I was helped by my studies in environmental microbiology. One of my focuses has been on the plight of refugees. At the same time, I realised that if we don't address climate change, we're going to create more refugees than we've ever seen. Being part of the culture is the most difficult thing. It's a throwaway culture, and it's also a culture of overindulgence. The spiritual discipline of self-restraint is, I think, one of the greatest challenges I've certainly faced. And one of the ways I've coped with that is by developing cooking as my hobby. I've had to develop a real sensitivity, though, to issues like food miles and the like. If I want to cook asparagus, it's really quite tempting to say, oh well, Peruvian asparagus is here, I may as well use it. But I really try to shop with an eye to food miles and to buy local produce. The way I buy things for my kitchen, I've developed the principle of buying really high quality stuff, which ends up being expensive. Hopefully I'll have one food processor for the whole of my life, and then I'll pass that food processor on to my kids, rather than buying lots of cheap things that are part of the throwaway culture. I share a house with some vegans, and so I've learnt to think through what I eat. My diet is very heavily weighted towards the consumption of vegetables and pulses, and that's been good for me, and it's good for the planet as well. In terms of transportation, one of my increasing disciplines is to walk. I try to take public transport, and I use my car as the very last resort. All our lights now are low energy lights, which has seen a 70% reduction in the amount of energy that's going into the use of the cathedral itself. We're buying our energy from a green supplier. We couldn't install solar panels because we have too much shading on our roofs, so we looked for a partner parish. We installed solar panels on their roof. We offset some of our power use here at the cathedral, and at the same time give that parish the benefit of getting cheaper power.